Hello, students. Your last lab that you completed, you realized the value of having a good recipe. We call them standardized recipes. There is a specific format in which the recipe should follow. One of the big things behind standardized recipes is that the ingredients are clearly identified in the order that they're used, and that there's also step-by-step logical directions. One of the skills that comes along with reading a recipe is also annotating. I like to go through my recipes and circle and underline and highlight and take away any information that is not needed, or maybe I'm going to substitute, or maybe I need to be sure I have. So annotating is a really valuable skill. Let's take a look. Here's the recipe that you have on the back of the notes. So what I would do here to annotate, your first step is always to read the recipe from start to finish. Don't just look at the ingredients. You want to read the whole thing from start to finish. So then your next step is to look at the recipe in terms of steps and things you need to do before you put the recipe together. So when we look here, we've got a couple of pre-prep steps: to preheat oven and line 2 baking sheets with parchment paper. Then this particular recipe gets very, very wordy. She goes into great detail. In the bowl of your electric stand mixer, fitted with the paddle attachment or with a hand mixer, beat the butter until smooth. So that looks like one step, but actually you have to put the mixer together first. You have to get the butter first. Then the next step says to add sugar and beat until creamy and smooth. That would be another step, to add the sugar. Next step, add the egg, honey, and vanilla. Now before you add the egg, honey, and vanilla, one of the things you need to do whenever we're using eggs is crack it into its separate bowl to be sure that the egg is not damaged or not bad. So all of these would be separate steps. Then she goes down here for larger cookies. We've got 55 grams. She's got all of this wordiness. We do not need all of that wordiness. For standardized recipes, we want concise information. The ingredients listed over here, there's grams. We don't need that. You can say unsalted butter. We can just put butter. Grams again. Other things. Anywhere it's optional. Let's say I don't have honey, so I'm going to cross that off. Let's say I don't like nuts, so I'm going to cross those off. Let's say I don't want any cranberries or any of that dried stuff. I'm going to cross that off. But let's say I would like some chips in my recipe, so I'm going to circle that, and maybe I'm going to do white chocolate chips instead. So that is what the original recipe looks like. Here is what the standardized recipe format looks like. So if you see, all the ingredients are listed. AP means all-purpose, and they're listed in the order that they appear in the directions. So then the procedure, starting with preheating oven, you do not have to put clean and sanitized station. This is your standardized recipe. This isn't your lab planning sheet. So make sure that you include all of the steps through the bottom. So that is what this recipe turns into right here. So I hope this helps when it comes to annotating and converting your recipes into standardized format, and I hope to see you tomorrow.